Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night chat. Looks like we're going to have a pretty good panel here, or we have a good panel here. There may even be some more people jump in. I don't know. We'll see. Got a few invites out there. If not, doesn't matter. Here we are again, another Tuesday night, and I'm going to go down the row here, and I'm going to let Coda Boy 32 do his intro.
TR, thanks a lot for having me on board tonight, man. I don't know how long I'm going to make it, but we'll try to keep it going all night long. But I appreciate you having me, and thank you very much.
All right. Rick, is your six covered? Go ahead, man.
Howdy. That's it. Thanks for the invite.
There you go, short and sweet. All right, I'll let Rosie do an intro, and then if you want to, Rosie, if there's anything on your mind you want to talk about or not, go right ahead.
I probably won't. Hey, everybody, nice to see you. Hi, TR. Hey, Rick. Hey, Coda. Nice to see all of you and everybody on the side chat. I'm happy to be here. Do you know, TR, it strikes me a couple more weeks, it's going to be 2 years we've been having these Tuesday night shenanigans, huh? It's kind of cool when you think about it that the chat would last that long, but it's a tribute to you doing it and everybody being here on Tuesday night. So I'm really happy to be here and still going on with this chat. Let me just say that first. Number two, my theme has been, you know, I often feel like I'm whistling in the dark a lot of times, because unless in life things don't immediately present themselves in the way of something catastrophic happening, it's like our society, unless you get it tomorrow, it's like it's probably not going to happen, right? Because seeing things that are inevitable is different than seeing them now. And I've had to moderate a lot of things that I think over many years. And take that into account, that we tend, when we're economists, we tend to kind of telescope things. We look through a telescope and things are larger than they actually appear. And I think that that's been the case running through this whole recovery that we've had since 2008. And yet, wait for it, there's more. And yet the snippets of information that come out about the economy and the little factoids that you get here and there, they should cause anybody to sit up and take notice. We had the employment report for May last month, and on the face of it, things seem good. 4.3%, the unemployment rate ticking down to 4.3%. But in reality, when you look behind the headlines of job creation, it was 138,000 net jobs created, and the gains for April were reduced by about 70,000 in the way of job gains. There's something wrong with the picture out there. And then you couple that with the fact that the participation among young people in the workforce, age 17 to 25, is at an all-time low in this country. In 1974, it was at almost 60% of people age 17 to 25 were working or held jobs at least at some point in the job market. Today, that's down to about 30%. We've effectively cut that in half over that. So is it any wonder when you go around that you see so many places are hiring, from Home Depots and convenience stores and lower end service jobs? And the question is, where are the really good jobs being created? And I know TR and Coda and Rick, we've talked about people that are able to do repair work, and people that understand machinery and can have technical skills in woodworking or machining and lathing work and things like that. But and can they be able to run CNC, computer numerically controlled machinery and things? But that's, you know, with the young labor force we have today, such is not the case. Let's see. Linda said the video won't play on this side, so I don't know what's going on over there. Can everybody hear us? Okay. I haven't heard anybody else say anything.
I see it. I see
Okay.
it. It's running for me
Okay.
anyway.
All right. So maybe just refresh. So Pop said woodworkers are a-holes. You gotta love that. But anyway, so I throw it out there as one of the big issues is the lack of participation. And Bloomberg had an interesting article that why don't young people want to work anymore? And I thought it was a very interesting article because some of the spin-offs of that article, the fact that they don't want to work means that they're wanting to buy things like cars and trucks and houses. And you know, when I was very young, my mother had a silver service that was given to her by her mother, and you would have people would aspire to a china set and things like that. These days we don't see those aspirations. You know, society's changed a lot in here with the aspirations and the desires of young people, and I think it's being reflected in a population that really values the cult of leisure maybe more than the cult of work. But the other result, as I heard something today that, and this was listening to Jamie Dimon. Jamie Dimon is the chairman of J.P. Morgan Chase. And he's somebody that's really worth listening to every year when he does his annual report. He'll write a letter at the beginning of the J.P. Morgan Chase annual reports that you can read. And it's very interesting because he's one of the few CEOs that really comes out and talks about America and public policy and government policy and the things that are going on today, and some disturbing things that he covered. There were some good things like President Trump addressing things like infrastructure. President Trump addressing things like lowering regulations and things like that. He agreed that they're very good things, streamlining regulations, making it easier, attacking things like our tax structure, our corporate tax structure. But on the other side, when you listen to his Bloomberg interview that was given by an analyst afterward that was discussing it, I mean, he cited that 70% of the 70% of men between 17 and 25, 70% of men between 17 and 25 aren't even mentally or physically fit to be in the armed services anymore. And is that the cult of leisure and stuff? Who knows? It's certainly a tribute to the lack of physical education and more physical activities, I think, on a lot of young people. And he goes on to talk about how regulation since the crash has hurt things like the mortgage market, where if you have a 30-year mortgage and you put 20% down, just the cost of regulation since the crash, the cost of that mortgage to you has gone up $10,000 in additional cost to underwrite and offer that mortgage. So as a result, there's really less demand for home loans. They're not being written as much right now. If you had a default in your past, it's very difficult to get a loan. If you're a first-time borrower, it's very difficult to get a loan. The whole thing has really started to flip around to a risk-averse sort of banking system. And J.P. Morgan feels that. They feel the constraints. Sure, they don't write mortgages, but they're repackagers of mortgages. So I think it's very interesting when we look at a market up here where everything is at such high valuation levels, because it's at this point in the economic cycle, we're creating fewer businesses are starting at any point in previous recoveries. This far along, we should have tons of new businesses being formed, but we're still scraping ridiculous lows on new business formations, because I just don't think that people are seeing the opportunities that are out there. And I think that the more we go up and the more we press higher in some of these stocks like Amazon and Google, and a lot of these are over $1,000 a share that I mentioned now, the more the risk is building into this, that we're going to have this huge divergence growing between reality and perceptions in the investment market and reality in the real world. So To me, it's a large concern because I've mentioned this before. When I was very young, and I heard the term Nifty 50, and it referred to the cult of love that investors had in the 60s and 70s, late 50s through up until the 74 recession. Man, they loved those growth companies, the Xeroxes, the LTVs, the Polaroids. They couldn't get enough of those companies, and they were supposed to be able to hitch your wagon to them and be good for life. And of course, if you look at those 50 names today, probably 40 of them have disappeared altogether, gone into oblivion, or were absorbed because of failure and other things. So just beware that things can change. And this cult of love that a lot of people have for the Googles, the Facebooks, the Amazons, they're really going to they're really putting their money at potentially at risk. So I think that's all I really have today. Is there's good things and there's negative things. And I think on the political front, where the economy meets, the president is still having difficulty marshaling enough to get things. He signed a lot of executive orders, but as far as pieces of legislation that have passed, there's not really anything that you can point to at this point in time, about 6 months into the administration. So, you know, there's going to be a lot of problems if things don't come to fruition here.
Yeah, it's been a little hairy for a little while, I'd say. What do you think? Not really off topic, but on topic. What do you think about the Paris Accord and Trump pulling out of that? Do you think that? I mean, I don't really see it being an impact economic wise, at least big time. It may have a small impact, but do you see that as being not even a plus or minus, but just to say impact one way or another?
It's difficult to say how that's going to play out, you know, that thing, because they were really guidelines. They weren't carved in stone, the Paris guidelines. And the thing that irked Trump, and the thing that I agree about, was, number one, the whole thing is based on science. That no matter what people say, it's still up in the air. It's still a matter of debate. May was one of the coldest Mays on record in the world. So there's still some issues that are up. What really irked the president was the unfairness of in other words, we can't build any more coal-fired plants here, but China's allowed to build, 60 more coal-fired plants over the next 5 years. There was these inequities that you're allowed to pollute like crazy, but we're going to suck it up and take one for the team here for the rest of the world. And I think he would feel differently about that accord if he thought that came down evenly on everybody. That's just apart from the science of things, and I really believe he would feel that. The other thing that may tie into that too, TR, is of course we had those terror attacks over the weekend in London. And it's also an issue of elections coming up parliamentary elections coming up in the UK, I believe, Thursday. So there's a lot of moving pieces on the board right now. But as far as that Paris Accord goes, I think as he said, and he really had a hell of a line. He said, the people of Paris didn't elect me. The people of the people of Pittsburgh did. So I thought that was really I guess I kind of put it in a nutshell, the way he sees it, that unfairness.
Yeah, I definitely agree with him. Like you said, it was an unbinding contract. China, India, the biggest polluters in the world, didn't have to put a dime into it, but yet they would collect United States taxpayer money. It's like it was a no-brainer. No, we're not doing that. I was just kind of like I said, I was just wondering if you thought it would impact the economy any. Well, I don't think it really will. That's just my opinion.
Let me put it this way, TR. There's a lot of things out there that in a normal economic recovery, which in my lifetime, I've never seen a recovery like this one. I think it's been engineered, it's been fabricated. I don't think it's based on real money flows in the system. I think it's tried to be bought by government injection of QE1, QE2, quantitative easings. So it's like people want to play that script out, that it's going to play like every other recovery. So in keeping with that continuing script that, oh, things are great, if a president comes along and says, hey, I'm going to reduce the regulatory burden on you for emissions, for you want to produce coal now, easy peasy, go ahead. You want to open up more shale lands for development, go for it. You want to reduce corporate taxes, great. I mean, there's a lot of goodwill on the sideline amongst investors and big money that all of this is going to result in a stronger economy. It may very well not, because this was an engineered recovery. It may actually have no impact at all. So in that sense, I'm not really sure, but I just think that the president's issue was the lack of fairness in that agreement. I'm more interested in what you guys think about why the young people, why the participation rate in the labor force. I mean, when I grew up, I couldn't wait to get a summer job at age 14, 15, and what's changed? What's so different?
I think that I can just speak for my profession as a industrial maintenance technician, because I'm seeing it right now. I mean, I've been seeing it for years. I actually seen it when I was an auto mechanic, because me and some buddies, even when I was an auto mechanic, we foresaw 10, 20 years ago, it's like, you know what's going to happen is you're going to have an actual engineer, say at a dealership, you're going to have an engineer or two. They're going to diagnose the problems. They're going to have a bunch of tire changers running around doing whatever these engineers tell them, because there's not going to be enough people to have the intelligence to figure out these problems. So you're going to have these engineers figure out the problem, point to it, hey, change that, and I'm seeing it now. But especially in industry, like where I work at right now, in my profession, we're a dying out breed. Your maintenance technicians that know what the hell's going on, understand the machinery. We're all in our 40s and 50s, so in a few years we're retiring. Companies don't do apprenticeship programs. The schools that's out there that actually do some type of technical degree, when they come out, they damn near can't turn on a light bulb. I mean, it's fucking worthless. I don't know what they're teaching them, but it's worthless. I mean, we have actually had guys that had a good resume, could not put a drill bit in a drill. He did not know how to work a chuckless chuck. I mean, a keyless chuck. We had to show him. After we showed him, he still could not put a fucking drill bit in a fucking drill. It's like, I can't work with this, He can't even put a drill bit in a drill. And you want me to teach him how to fix complex electronic problems? Are you fucking kidding me? So industry 20 years from now, if it don't take some kind of, there better be people going after those jobs, and they come up with some kind of apprenticeship programs, good educational programs. Manufacturing's going to go in the damn in a toilet, because the damn machines ain't going to be running.
Well, you can certainly see why companies are so pro open immigration, because by and large, and I'm not talking about supposed refugees from distressed Middle East countries, but I'm talking about traditional immigration from less developed countries that come here. Those people come here, they hit the shores of the U.S., and most of those people want to work. Whether they're legal or not, it's been proven that most of them want to get a job and want to start making money. I mean, and here they are in California with growing this year, and they're having this big fear about who's going to come and pick the crops this summer when they're ready. You know, it's a legitimate question. Now, you could say you could raise the rates and you'll attract a lot of people, and of course you'll have some additional people go, but you won't probably be attracting that core of young people. And I just think something really major happened in this last downturn that really accelerated that move away from work, that desire to work when you could, and sort of put some money in your own pocket. Some people have said that, well, we give kids everything, and you stick a phone in their hand, and they're enamored by technology and social networking and things. But it's the first generation I've seen this doesn't seem to be aspirational or pushing to achieve, you know, to realize a dream. Even how many young people 25 do you see ever drive a new car? I can't even tell you. It's when I was younger, you'd see people that were fairly secure on their first or second job rung would have a car, but it's just weird the way the script is being flipped right now.
Well, we're getting.
I think these kids, the entitlement, maybe the everything's handed to them. And I don't have kids, so I'm not talking about anybody's kids out there. Because if you're watching this chat, more than likely you raised your kids the correct way. So I'm not talking to any of you out there, probably. But these kids want everything handed to them. In a skilled trade, yes, it's not glamorous. You'll never be a millionaire. But in the trade I'm in, it's not uncommon. I mean, I could go to work for one of the, when I call in techs to work on the machinery, to help me work on the machinery, these guys probably knocking down $100,000 a year. College education to do this shit.
Yeah, I think Linda says
you have to be good at your job.
Linda says
a couple points though.
Go ahead, Rick.
There's a couple points. I mean, us as our age, I mean, and probably most of us remember going and hanging out with our dad, trying to fix the car or whatever the case is. And now with technology, a lot of that stuff is, unless you have computers and, you can diagnose your vehicle, you can't just go change a carburetor anymore. You can't do hands-on kind of shit to your car. I mean, you can change the oil and change tires and shit like that. But like when your car's broken down, like the cars that we got to mess with when we were kids, they were simple. They had a carburetor and it was pretty easy to fix. Our parents understood how to fix that stuff. But like my age, the vehicles that we're driving now, a lot of that shit's got to go to the shop because it's all computer, it needs to be diagnosed via, it's too electronic now to fix. So on one aspect, we're ruining our kids because we're not, I mean, we can still teach them how to do oil changes and tire changes and maintenance of a vehicle, but like the old days where you'd pull the motor out and change it, put some new headers on it or whatever the case is, and that kind of stuff is kind of, so we're losing that on one aspect, but we are gaining the technology on the other. But the problem is if you don't have the equipment, you can't do what you need to do. And like TR, TR's job, he's working on machines that the kids that are going to learn on are probably newer than what he has available. So even when they get out of the job industry, because I think TR was saying he had some pretty old ass machines the last time we talked about it, but when those kids show up, even if they got, master's degree in fucking fix-me-ology, when they get to see that machine, they're going to go, I've never seen this machine. So we're hurting from both ends. Basically, we're not able to teach them. We don't have the ability as easily to teach them something because it's not there.
So it comes down to who's going to drive your retirement. When you go to downsize, who's going to be able to afford to buy a house, and you have this huge gap between the way people perceive things, basically our generation, and then differently for the ones coming up. And I just think it's amazing to see. And I just think it's going to be a huge, even if the economy is going great guns, it's going to be very difficult to fill the jobs to keep the economy going along, even in the best of times, because there's just, I see more and more. I mean, they had a headline, there's 6 million unfilled jobs right now, and these aren't high tech, these aren't software engineers, these are everything from Home Depot jobs to landscape people. I mean, it's amazing what's going begging out there, but there's just something fundamentally that changed within our society, and I'm guessing it had to do with that total collapse of 2008 to 2010. But it still remains to be seen for the script for that kind of stuff. So I'm not quite sure. Now, you talked about the kids that, and I certainly did that. I mean, I grew up learning about engines. I worked for Bethlehem's shipyards and engine rebuilding, balancing crankshafts and regrinding crankshafts. But technology has changed. But how many of us were really involved? How many guys were doing that? Maybe 10, 15%. I mean, it was still a significant number, but most of the guys I knew wanted to at least get a job if they could just scoop ice cream, or get on with a landscape company, or work sweeping up a carpentry shop, or work at a grocery store. I don't see that. I don't see it anymore, and that's really, I think, going to pinch our economy going forward. I think in a really, really major way. Now, you could say, hey, they were like that. Now, you guys are too young, but they were like that in the 70s and 60s too. There was that whole generation. There was a lot of them, but a lot didn't participate. But there were a lot of them that rebelled against the man, so to speak, and that fuck the man mentality. And I'm not working for the man, and I'm not joining the rat race. And of course, they eventually did join the rat race in a big way. So maybe it'll change, but it's going to take some real shock to probably change that.
I just, I'm speaking from a biased point of view. Skilled trades, I think, are eventually going to pay off better and become. There's such a need for it. I mean, I feel like I'm very underpaid for what I do. But living in South Carolina, lower cost of living and stuff like that keeps my salary down. And I make good money for a damn redneck from South Carolina. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hurting for nothing. Okay? But I'm not making $100,000 a year. But, probably I should be. I mean, but that's beside the point. There's such a vacuum for skilled trades, or at least in my area, that I see it becoming, at least people maybe go and get an associate's degree to get their foot in the door and stuff like that. I see it becoming more of a viable option.
I think our educational system just totally took the wind out of the sails of wanting to work an honest day. I think they fed everybody this bullshit that, you get this great education and you get a great job, but they forget that an economy is built on a lot of different levels of educational ability and a lot of different levels of aptitude for business and for doing work like repair work, but they just generally de-glorified, and to the point where nobody would even consider that as a viable career coming after high school. They'd rather push people into the military that were unsuited and defund things like shop classes and do away with a lot of those. So I think we're really paying the price for that, feeling like this is not decent work to do amongst a lot of young people. And we're still, I don't even think they think about it. I don't even think they consider where things come from and how things arrive on their doorstep and on shelves of stores. So
I had a young college graduate come work for me. I guess he just graduated and he needed something to do during the summer, and I was dating his sister, and I was like, all right, come on to work for me. And we were up late one night, and we were grouting in door frames or doing something, and he looked at me and he said, I am so above this work right now. And my mouth just dropped, and I was like, leave. No one is, and here's the thing, no one is forcing you to sit here and do this. So go, the alternative is go home. So go. And I fired him that next day. He called me crying because he didn't realize that I was actually going to fire him. But the kids that I work with, you know, we'll bring in a couple new PMs, and they want the world. They want it now. There's no sense of I need to earn it. And it's scary to a sense, but you know, I can understand and I appreciate the aggressiveness and how they want to get things done, but the maturity level for these young kids is not quite there on the management style. But I would want somebody to go and get, and like if they send a kid to work for me, I'm going to send him out in the field for 6 months. I want you to learn every aspect. I want you to run that jackhammer. I want you to tie rebar. I want you to dig ditches, deal with it. Go into the trenches with the guys that actually do it, so you have an appreciation for what they're doing. Then you can lead the way. But you know, these guys these days, the kids, they come out, they're bred to this thing. I've got a degree now, and the world is mine, and I'm going to take it, and that's it. And it's
well, I want to throw this out there, and I've never talked about this before, you know, because sometimes it seems like we're going to have a philosophical sort of bent on this tonight. But when you have one of these in your hands, a phone, and I have a Samsung Galaxy here, the world is literally at your fingertips. And I'm going to suggest over the last 10 years in particular that we've blunted the creative intellect of young people by having everything basically at their fingertips so that they could vicariously explore the world without going out themselves and being curious enough to get out there and do something. If you're interested in something, all you have to do is say, hey, Google, could you tell me blah, 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 and Google will come up with the answer. Mm-hmm. And it's like we're blunting this natural inquiry, inquisitiveness that drove human nature for thousands of years, and now all of a sudden we don't need to do that anymore. We've got, you know, we've got the Wizard of Oz right in our hands here now, and I just think that lack of creativity is really stemming from having all the answers, quote, answers, unquote, readily at your fingertips. And I think we're starting to see the results of that easy flow of, quote, information, unquote, and then all the fake news and that stuff. But I really think that that's the case, that we're blunting that natural human inquisitiveness to wonder what things are like in the world and to experience it on our own.
I got something to say about that, Rosie. I think you're right on that. You know, you don't even have to travel. You can go on Google World or whatever the hell it's called, and you can go to Italy and drive down the streets and never set foot there. You know, there's so much technology to our fingerprints, or, you know, just at our fingertips. And then another thing I wanted to bring up was there was a class that one of the captains had attended, and it was basically on how to deal with firefighters of this generation was the class. And basically, you know, when you're talking to a younger kid and you almost feel like they're ignoring you or whatever, they said that their brains are so used to having all this shit next to them, right? And they have the ability, if done in a good way, but they're able to have so much more input going on. So when you're giving them a conversation where most of us that grew up in the 70s, you know, we were going to sit there and talk to the person, they're so bored because they can take that input in while doing other shit.
Yeah.
just as easily where we can't. We have to, like talk to each other. So they're not ignoring you per se, is what they said in class, but it is annoying as hell, and you want to just smack shit out of them. But they're getting everything you're saying most of the time, but they're also basically multitasking going on in their head. I mean, it could be stupid shit like, doing a text at the same time or whatever the case is, but they're so used to so much information coming in at a faster rate than we've ever been used to.
Yeah, and I just think that just
spell check. Shit. Jeez.
What's that?
Spell check's the most wonderful thing they ever invented. I've lost brain power since the spell check came out. My God.
Oh, it's amazing. Sure helps.
I just think it just goes hand in hand, Rick. If you can you would have natural inquisitiveness with, gee, I wonder what's under the hood of, a car, or I wonder how this thing works. And you get in there and you might find that you had a passion for it. You might find like this is the most kick-ass thing you ever did in your life. And it starts you on a thought of, gee, I want to have my own car. I want to do my own thing. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to have to get some money to it. I'm going to have to get, you start to put the wheels in motion to be productive. But when you can live your life through YouTube videos and not, your curiosity can be satisfied about what awaits, what's the point? It's just, it just doesn't, things don't hold interest anymore.
Well, my kids, we try to limit those guys to just a certain amount of phone time. And one of the reasons why we gave them their own phones, even at the age they're at, is just to get them off of ours. Because, you'd be sitting there going, that's a phone call I got to take, or I got to do this. But, there's a certain period, like, you give them 30 minutes a day. And I'll tell them straight up, like, my wife was out of town this last couple of days. And I told them, I said, all right, 8 o'clock, you get the phone for 30 minutes. Make the best of it. And they'll sit there just like this. I got a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, man. They're just going at it. And I go, all right, time's up. And they'll go, okay, Daddy, here you go. And it's power. I use that. It's like the Jedi Force over top of them, man. But they live and die on those damn things. But, I've got my son, he's 8 years old, and one of the neighbors showed him porn. And I was just on his tablet, and I was just shaking my head going, the things that they can do these days is absolutely ridiculous. And it's dangerous to an extent.
Well, I just think it's dangerous. If you can find everything at your fingertips, then there's really no need to explore your creativity and your inquisitiveness to make things happen. And I think we're seeing the consequences of that in this generation. And this is one of the reasons that I think that a lot of less young people want to work today, because they don't, there's nothing that engages them. There's nothing really that motivates them, because everything can be at their fingertips.
I got something, Jim, right here. This, it's interesting too, because the aspect of, and I don't want to call it corporal punishment, but spanking a kid, they've gotten so far away from the ability to properly discipline your child that it's almost become an evil act. And I feel that becoming the politically correct individual, I get so many people to go, well, you can, guide your child without having to do this or that. I'm just like, whoa. First of all, let's take a look at your child and the way he talks to you versus my child. When he refers to me, it's yes, sir, not what, or hey, you, and some of the things and spare a rod, spoil a child. I'm a firm believer in that, and not to an abusive extent, but they know that, one, if they do something that I have specifically told them not to do, they're going to get a pop. If they lie to me, they're going to get popped. And it's, almost to, well, my son, he's 8 years old, but he's 58 inches tall and he weighs 120 pounds, so he's not small anymore. So he pretty much laughs at me. But my daughter is funny as hell. When she knows she's going to get popped, she'll put that hand back there and just start running, and it's almost laughable. But they understand that the difference between right and wrong, and the narcissism that's in today's world. I've got another relative I'm going to leave unnamed, but that person is just almost like everybody else's fault. They don't have, there's nothing that I do is wrong, and I can do whatever I want. It's the other person's issues in this world. And I laugh my ass off. I mean, how in the world can you go through life with that? And we were talking about an individual who lives down in Florida earlier. So how can you go through life with that concept or that idea that everything that surrounds you, that you're always right, nothing's wrong, everybody has an issue except for you. And I think that the kids growing up today, they haven't been told the difference between right and wrong. No one is correcting them, and they're being allowed at the sake of political correctness to do whatever they want. And at the end result, who's going to pay? America's going to pay.
Yeah, I think we're paying right now.
So, you know, the kids today, and it's being led by the charge. You got Bernie Sanders over there going, everybody deserves to get a degree. And you know what? I am a firm believer in continuing education, a higher level, continue moving forward. But the problem is, if everybody gets a degree, it devalues a 4-year diploma. If everybody can afford, if they offer everybody a loan to go to school, well, what do you think the colleges are going to do? It's supply and demand. You can pay, everybody can pay for it. Well, we'll just keep jacking the prices up, and as long as the government is willing to secure those loans, and another thing is, and I'm getting on my topic, man. You're going to hear me rant right now. But these kids that go out and they get these loans, we've mentioned this before. You get a $150,000 loan, and you go out and become a school teacher. And I know in North Carolina, school teachers probably max out about $50,000 or $60,000. What in the hell do you think you're doing? It's like going out on a $30,000 a year salary and buying a Ferrari. It's absolutely ludicrous. And then they go, well, I can't pay my loans. The government should do that for me. And you got Bernie and all these other people out there going, yeah, you deserve to have us pay for that. That's bullshit. And
Yeah, well, guess what, Cody? Up until about 30 years ago, that's why we had things called teachers' colleges that weren't ultra expensive to go, like Towson University in Maryland used to be Towson Teachers College, and it was a place that you could be taught to be a teacher, that you didn't bust the bank. It cost you peanuts to be trained to be a teacher, so it could be affordable. But when everybody can afford to go to college, and the number of colleges grew like crazy, and they expanded, and classes and admissions grew, then nobody has to really care about what they major in. So you have people coming out with arcane French literature degrees and all these things that nobody in their right mind, unless you really had a passion for it, would have undertaken some of these majors that are offered today. But because there's no consequence to making a bad choice, at least at that end of the line, when going into it, then there's no retribution. There's no thought of, I better make a good choice when I pick what to get educated in. So what happens is, you know, you end up where we are today with a mountain of student loans and not equivalent opportunities in the economy, because we have a misfit of graduates to what our economy needs.
who all of a sudden feel they don't have the necessity to pay back this loan.
Yeah.
And it blows my millennium. I'm just sitting here going, asshole, you signed the dotted line. You knew the terms, or at least you probably, the people these days, they'll sign a loan, they don't even know what the hell they're signing. I mean, you're paying a high interest, and people are like, well, I can't understand why the interest is so high. It's unsecured. It's a dangerous loan for the loan company to loan you that money, because at any one point in time, you can go say, screw you, I'm not paying you a dime. Now, you'll get your wages garnished and everything else, because I've actually not had me personally experience that, but I've had a friend who was a school teacher, and she couldn't understand why in the world they were going to garnish her wages. She goes, well, well, how many times have you deferred payments on this thing? Somebody's going to want their money.
Well, exactly. Like, and you know what? That thing's still being rolled forward as if it's some kind of an asset that that loan. And the reality, folks, is this is the next huge, gigantic trigger point for this economy, is the inability of young people to participate in this economy because of bad choices made on loans. The percentage of student loans in terms of overall debt is enormous now, and it's where a lot of debt is going bad in this country. And it's one reason a lot of car companies and bottom rung businesses are having a difficult time making a substantial headway here, because the young
Rick, hold on, it's Rosie. I got to interrupt. Rick, what are you doing?
drinking, smoking, drinking.
I know what he's doing. He's pandering. Good Lord. Shameless, man. Come on.
Yeah, the more he drinks, thank God for autocorrect, right?
Well, now student loans are not unsecured. If you get a student loan, that will live with you the rest of your life until you pay it off. You cannot declare bankruptcy and do away with it. You can't just default on it. The federal government will take that out of your paycheck no matter where you go. It doesn't matter if you get a diploma and end up digging ditches. They will fucking garnish your wages
It's
for
like
the rest of your life.
They will follow you till the
Well,
end.
it's the way they're going to revamp credit. They're already trying to work that through now we've already had one rejiggle of credit card where it was, you couldn't just through bankruptcy just discharge easily credit card. We had that whole thing about 10 years ago where we rejigged the credit card system. But another one is coming there too. And we're going to create a whole nother group of indentured workers there that are bound to that. So there'll be a price to pay for these decisions that were being made. And I lay it all at the doorstep of the government for coming to help people, quote unquote.
Yeah, credit cards aren't unsecured now either. It doesn't matter if you're paying 25% on a credit card that you think's unsecured. If you don't have anything, you're okay. But a credit card company, if you just owe them $2,000 and quit paying it, they can auction your fucking house off, get their $2,000 and lawyer fees and all that shit out of it, and give you what's left over if there's anything left over. So Discover, Visa, MasterCard, they can fucking take your house if you decide not to pay that again. That changed with Bush. George Bush.
That's why it all wraps up into this. And this is why I say this recovery is different. This economy is different because we don't have a generation to pass the mantle to, that the expectations are they're going to live better than you do going forward. In actual point of fact, they're probably going to be worse off. And there'll have been some kind of peak here, specifically because we'll find out that just engineering a recovery doesn't create an actual true recovery, because the distortions are so great that have been created in this economy. They're so bad in so many different directions that it's just absolute confusion now when you look at things. It's one thing, I don't think that these QEs are going to be able to stimulate the economy and ever create inflation, because there's too many depressants on the market right now that are contriving to push prices lower here and make things more competitive in terms of pricing, not less. And I just think you're going to see deflation take on a more ugly side coming up, where cost of education comes down, the cost of homes goes down again, and there'll be the inability to serve his debt and all of those type of problems. So I can understand why the economy is failing to really take off. And if the president and they're looking for 3% GDP growth, I don't even see 0.5% in this situation.
SIG's rule. Throw that in there.
Yeah, I know the Fed's clueless. Linda's talking about that book, Fed Up. by Danielle Martin. She worked with the Fed and describes they're a bunch of human beings. I mean, we ascribe some great thinking Wizard of Ozism to the Federal Reserve. They're no more smarter than the person down the street, to be honest with you. They follow, they don't lead. They follow what's going on. They can only look at statistics that have been gathered. They don't have the ability to sort of think ahead and think thoughts about what's really going on. That's my big beef with them. I'll be right back.
Sigma Mafia, Sig Mafia for life. I thought that Bad Billy, I thought you were saying Sigma. That's one of the first guns I ever got rid of was the Smith & Wesson Sigma. Because it was almost real close to a Glock.
Yeah. Fuck you guys.
Oh. There you go. It's easy.
Oh my God.
Is that a real one? Is that a real one, TR?
That's a clone. Tune in tomorrow and you'll see the real one.
You know what? Since I'm not in California,
Hey Rick, you're what, a couple hours from Mooresville?
I have no idea.
Yeah, Mooresville. It's they got one of the sister stores where I shop at down in Charlotte, but I stopped in there today on the way out of town. They got about 20 SIGs in my mind. They got about 20 CZs in the counter there, and they had a really nice matte stainless steel CZ75, which was badass, for a nice, pretty 729, 750, something like that. But, too many guns, not enough money.
Let me show you this CZ clone I got the other day.
Yeah.
The Infinity CZ.
The Patron account's paying off.
Well, Patron ran out, man. Shit. Sucking that out of 3 difference. Uh-oh, here we go.
Gizza.
You guys and your CZs. Hey, do you guys know what you know what the first Porsche was?
A Volkswagen.
Exactly. You know what the CZ is? Volkswagen. This is a real.
Did you ever get that thing to run?
Yeah, I told you it was the ammo bag. Hey, when your CZ can do that,
you can buy 3 CZs for what those mags cost to run that thing. So.
Hey, when you can get a CZ to do that shit, then you come talk to me.
It's sweet.
Do what? What did it do?
Oh, that's so sweet. God dog it. Good Lord.
Hold on. Hold it up higher.
High?
Yeah, I can't see.
Oh, you want to see the trigger?
Yeah. Pull it up. There you go.
Well, now you'll never hear any of us down a 1911 design. I'm a 1911 guy. I mean, the first carry gun that I carried for years was a 1911. I carried around full fucking steel 5-inch barrel 1911 as a carry gun.
Here's my CZ. You know what? If I put a bumper sticker on the side of it, I'll put CZ on the side of it.
Only thing is, you got that wussy ass, half-ass fucking 40 Smith & Wesson cartridge in it. It's,
I know. I should have ordered the girl around.
Yeah, 9 or 4. Well, if you're gonna do a 1911, you do 45.
See this
Just
right
man
here?
up, do it.
This holds 21 rounds. 21.
You hit anything with it?
Yeah, on the 20th shot.
The trigger on that is just do the reset.
Oh, you want to see the reset?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, hold on.
Okay, the reset is when you release the trigger.
I know what the reset is. Thanks, Coda Boy. Fucktard. I got a mag in it. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
That was it.
Do it again.
Let me make it close so you can see it. That was it. Look, I'll prove it. Hammer. Woo!
I should borrow that for a few minutes next time when I go to the bathroom.
You were supposed to do a video on it. Since people actually watch your channel, you should have done a video on it.
Dude, when did I have time? I was collecting brass the whole time. I was working. Shooting videos and collecting brass, thank God. I'll tell you what.
No, that's a sweet gun. It is. Like I said, I would never down a 1911 design gun.
That's made by Glock, just so you guys know.
Yeah, right.
Here's my Glock, you know what I'm saying? It's got a Glock.
The trigger did look like it was plastic. Other than that, I don't think Glock made it.
No, it's not.
Hey guys, check this out. My good buddy Mel. Do you remember the guy that went down there with us? Was down there with me?
Yeah, he's on there. He's out in the channel.
He is starting his own Kydex holster manufacturing company.
Nice. I like Mel.
Got his first blue gun form ordered, and it's the Glock 19 Gen 4.
So it's popular it's a popular carry gun, so it makes sense. I mean, I may make fun of Glocks, but that's my carry gun. I mean, I carry a Glock.
I think Bad Billy 429 says it best.
It goes both ways.
Carry gun that wants to be a race gun. It's a bisexual race gun. I'm just kidding. If I had the money, I'd buy one.
Now, I mean, the reason I carry a Glock just for the lightweight, it is reliable, has high capacity, and a lightweight. That's why I carry it. It's not accurate. It's not a very accurate gun, but it's accurate enough for self-defense, and it's reliable. It feeds. It functions. It's lightweight. I got fucking 18 rounds of ammunition in there. That's why I carry it. If I want to shoot a gun for fun, that's when you bring out the real guns.
The wheel guns?
Bring them wheel guns out, man.
Yeah, wheel guns, high powers, 1911s, hell, 357s. I mean, if you want to shoot for fun, that's when you bring those out.
All right, so I'll bring that Uberti down next time we go, and we'll have to do like some quick draw competition, and I'll do that often. I've got the old Western holsters like you do. I didn't bring it down because I don't know if anybody saw my car, but it was a little packed. But what we'll do is we'll do course runs with the 6-shooters, see how that works. We'll do quick draws. We need to do another competition like two rounds on target, mag. What do you call that when you reload with a different magazine? What is it, mag change out thing, Jigabob? We'll need to do times like pop, mag, switch out, pop.
A reload?
Yeah, that thing. Never done one of those before. Yeah.
Yeah, we can play around with them. I was actually kind of surprised how good I done with my left hand. I think because I was concentrating more. I actually shot better with my left hand than I did my right hand. I was like, what the fuck?
You did. Yeah, I commented on that. You shot way better. It was a little bit slower, but you were definitely making sure it was on target.
Yeah.
You got a chirp there, TR. Or somebody does.
I think it's codable.
Do what?
You got a cricket in your crotch or something.
Maybe it is me. Let me move my mic away.
Well, I'll mute it, see if it goes.
Test 1, 2. No, both can't mute, or we won't know who the cricket is.
Oh, all right. I'm unmuted. Is it me?
Nope.
Hello. Wow.
It must have been me then.
Yep, it is. When you talk, the cricket started again. Hey, why don't you send the rooster in the house to get that damn thing?
All right.
Damn it, Mel.
Have another belt, Rick. There you go.
All right. So you guys, when Mel gets his first round of of what do you call those things? The Kydex
Holsters.
holsters. I'll tell you what. When he gets his first really good quality holster, I will go out and buy a Glock. So to demonstrate it with.
Hey,
So
I do gotta say one thing. Big Johnson, he said if you promise to send it back, I'll send you a CZ to try out. And I was like, that's super awesome. So thanks, Big Johnson. But I'll just wait till I talk to Rob. Maybe I can shoot his. I do have some Glocks for sale, by the way, if anybody wants one.
Pops, I'm gonna need a Gen 4. A Sig 19. I mean a Glock 19. God, I just can't get those right. Like,
I got a Vickers Tactical 19 that's badass.
they got the new Vickers in. They changed up a bunch of stuff on it. I didn't get a chance to look at it, but yeah, they changed up some things and they did some pretty cool stuff with them.
Does it have the RTF2 grip?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't actually take time to look at it. I was actually too busy looking. What was I looking at the other day? Oh, the PPQ and hi everyone. P07.
They're saying I got the Cricket too, I think. I don't have anything running. Test, 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 test. I do hear Cricket when I'm talking. I don't know if that's me or not.
I'm gonna mute mine right now, see if it ends.
Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. CZs suck. CZs suck. Test 1, 2. Nope. No Cricket.
Did the Cricket come back when I've just unmuted mine?
Nope. Keep talking.
Blah 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 blah.
It might be me.
Shit.
I don't know.
I'm tumbling some brass with my new stainless
Oh,
steel.
that's what it is, cheese dick. Put your hand out of the bucket.
It's 3 rooms over. You can't. I can
Oh,
barely
I thought
hear
you had your hand in the brass like this. I thought you were doing this.
Rick, you're too much.
I got a big old bucket of brass here, but I ain't touching it.
I can't wait for one of those big ass Frankfurt burgers.
Fucking
that deserves a damn beer.
Yeah, you better get a beer. Here you go, Coda Boy.
What do you, sir?
All washed and ready to go. How am I going to show this without spilling all the fuckers? There you go.
Ooh. Are those 40 cal?
Yeah.
I might as well just start loading. I got 1,000 bullets of 9mm, 1,000 bullets of 45. And I probably got another 5 or 6. I probably got about 1,000 cases for 40. I might as well just go ahead and reload those too while I'm at it. I'm hoping that in the next couple days we're going to get a turret press, but we're seeing. I got a competition I got to do with the red dot, so I got to invest in a decent red dot. I want you to send me that MRO.
What, mine?
Yeah.
Why would I send it to you? Do you want to borrow it?
I want it. I just want to.
All right, send me a CZ. Fuck.
I'll send you a CZ clone. I don't have any cheap CZs. Sorry.
I don't have any cheap MROs.
They aren't cheap, that's for sure.
They're as much as a
the
Glock.
MRO Scout. Jesus Christ, man.
Well, hold on. Bob's got something to say.
Hey, Bob. He's probably sitting going, please don't run over me again. Please.
You almost got killed twice. Hey, check this out. Check it out. I don't know if you guys saw this. Look at this fucking thing.
Hey, WTF, I can do 100 rounds in an hour.
Look at the holes in this thing you guys did.
I can't believe that thing is still alive.
This shit is this deep. Wait, can you see the other part of my finger? What the hell is it? Yeah, there you go. That's that deep. That was some shotgun slugs. These things work awesome if you guys are interested.
Was Bobby shooting like slugs at the thing and blew it up or some shit? I remember when he did
It didn't, look at it though. It didn't do shit on the front. After you paint it back up again, there's not a hole that you can even, oh, here's the little tiny screwdriver. You can barely, it's the size of the little tiny screwdriver, see it?
Mm-hmm.
This thing works fucking awesome.
I ought to bring my teddy bear over here and show you the teddy bear.
What kills it the most is the hollow points.
Hollow point, we had a problem.
Yes, that and 40 cal because they're flat nosed. Any of the flat nosed rounds do a little bit more damage than any of them. Bob says, "Fuck infinity."
Now you shooting? Were you shooting flat nose or are you shooting the open tip?
No, flat. Oh, actually, on the infinity, I had hollow points.
You were running hollow points that day, weren't you?
Yep. I actually been loading more hollow points for it. Actually, right here, my daughter and I loaded 450 rounds of these mamma jammas.
Will it run with those?
This bullet here is designed just for the infinity. It's to give it peak performance. It's like Viagra.
What, about $3 a piece?
Jesus. No, I reload them. It don't cost shit.
I'm talking about the bullets themselves.
Oh. No, they're normal. They're let me see, I got the bag right here. I don't know if it has the name on it. I can't give you all my secrets.
Hey, Bad Billy, I'm thinking about getting the Hollow Sun has got the ACSS reticle in it. So I'm thinking about going ahead and getting that. I tried to get them just to send me one because I exclaimed, they made a comment on the the primary arms kicked the Vortex's ass. And I was like, I don't have one of your red dots. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Send me one, motherfuckers. But I don't think they're going to send my little channel anything. So whatever.
I don't lie about shit. If you guys shoot 40 cal, try this out. So those are Precision Delta, 40 Smith & Wesson, 180 grain jacketed hollow points. But then you run 4.3 grains of tight group with CCI primer. And that's the magic flat shooting, feels like a 9mm awesomeness. There you go. That's the magic concoction.
What you need is a 230 grain lead bullet with 7 grains of fucking power pistol on it.
What I need is a CZ so I can be cool like the rest of you jackalopes.
And you could go CZ for life, every other word.
Yeah, CZ for life shirts are out. Did you see your KB 32 shirt?
I did. I am tomorrow. I am ordering that.
Cool. Bizarre bought one earlier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can see like when someone orders them, I can see if they custom do the side where they put their YouTube channel in like they should.
Mm-hmm.
Bizarre he put in his, so I was like, sweet. I got another order. I actually ordered one for WTF SoCal for helping me out with the logo and stuff.
He's such a nice guy. He's so sweet.
He is a cool dude.
He really
He actually came down one day when I was working because he's only like probably 45 minutes from me.
Really?
So we went and had lunch. He's a cool dude.
You guys should room together.
So what? Oh, we do. Hey, we do room together.
TR, I'll bring.
He should have cooked for you.
My man. TR's my man. So, what was I going to ask you? I can't remember. I'm a little delirious right now. Anyway, you're being quiet over there, so talk some.
Yeah, TR's been quiet tonight. Must be Sonia.
That's not a chicken, is it? What is that?
Six grains of power pistol. I'll have to try that.
It's a slower burning, man, so it takes a lot more powder.
I don't shoot 165 grain ever. I'll have to try it out.
Tight grip. If you had, I mean, I better not do that on camera. But
Oh fuck yeah, tight group's the shit. I love it. Here's
Yeah.
an empty one I just emptied yesterday.
I'm gonna have to transition over to that because the power pistol is about $25 for 1 pound, and tight grip. Like looking at how much are you buying tight grip for them?
Here's $92 for 5 pounds.
All right, they got
No, 4 pounds. Sorry,
4 pounds. Cabela's down in South Carolina's got it for $81 for the 4 pounder, and it's $21 for the 1 pound.
$21.
21 and 81.
Yeah, talk to there's a lot more people that got great deals. Rob's good at it.
Well, see, now I did. Every time I do my Cabela's run, I talk to him just so I can get, the word of wisdom from the Godfather. But it's I know, man. Why are you making fun of me, Pops? Anyway,
Because you have a single stage press that you don't know how to use yet, and you're the Godfather of reloading.
that's right. I am. So,
Which I think's awesome, by the way.
yeah. So, I always call him up just to verify prices. But man, when he buys ammo, it's like 4,000, 5,000 rounds or bullets at a time. But we did the math, and he said, yeah, that's not a bad deal. So it makes me feel a little bit better about the purchases. But the Cabela's down there in South Carolina, Rock Hill, has got they got online pricing right there, man, in the store. But I got a Bass Pro Shop right around the corner in Harrisburg, PA up here, and their pricing is stupid. I won't even go over there, even though they're right around the corner. I won't. I hate them, assholes.
Well, here's an example why. What's kind of cool about tight group is you don't have to use very much. So like, well, you've loaded 9mm, right?
Yeah.
How many grains do you use for red dot?
112 power pistol at 124 grains is 5.7 grains.
Yeah. See, here's 4.8.
Yeah. So you can get how many more bullets out of a pound?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Rob would know. He could pull that shit out of his ass.
Well, Rob's awesome when it comes to reloading. So is WTF SoCal, though. Did anybody say CZ? Can we drink or what's up?
CZ.
What are you drinking? I can't believe you're still alive, actually.
Me?
Yeah, you. You drank a whole bottle of freaking Patron. And I don't mean a little sissy bottle.
Yeah, 7,000. If I could do it again tonight, I would. That Reposado was not as good as the Añejo, though. I'll tell you that. But the only way to drink it, straight out the bottle, man. If I had a straw, I would have done it that way. Rosie, what they're talking about is we started off our conversation Sunday night, and I'm by myself with the kids, and I had Monday off, and my wife actually went out and bought me a 5th of the Patron Reposado.
Oh, there we go.
I cracked it open at the beginning of that thing, and I finished it up as we were closing the top. And I sucked it straight. I was just.
I'll have to put you on
7,000 grains per pound.
I'll have to put you on my moonshine distribution list. Let's see how you hack that 180 proof stuff.
I believe it or not, I got a brother that lives over in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he does his own steel work, and he'll call me up, and I go, dude, check this out, man. I got like this, got it down to 130 proof, man. Right. Yeah, drink some more of that shit, dude. Gotta water it down a little bit, man.
Oh shit, I did. Yeah, that's cool.
But that tequila it goes down like water. Cause I'm used to drinking bourbon straight up, or just
Yeah, I'm a bourbon drinker.
so it was just something a little different to have. But I think that was my third bottle of Patron, and I think we're gonna go for the one more major donation. I'm looking for that big skull cracker that Pops has got, and
Hey, Snapperhead.
That's good.
1,489 rounds per pound of 40 at 4.7 grains. And I'm actually at 4.3.
it's not a lot. I was wondering, man. I'm loading the 45.
1,627. That's a shit ton of rounds. That's 1 pound. So times that by 4 equals 6,511 rounds right here.
Yeah.
Divided by $92 equals I don't know. Too many numbers.
90. You put the 92 first, and then divide the.
Shit.
Number.
What did I say the number was?
You're looking wobbly on that chair, Rick.
Yeah. I've got my 45s going to about 17 cents a round.
All right, I'll put the calculator away. It's not my strong suit.
But this week I'm going to decap, resize 223, and I'm going to sort it by manufacturer on the cases, and then I got a friend of mine. He's going to give me a good. Whoa, where'd the man go? He's going to give me a hands-on lesson on schwagering the primer pocket. I'll mess up my mess.
If we all went in prior to the next Farmageddon and bought like a barrel of powder, like Tight Group, where we bought like 40 pounds of it, and then dispersed it all out, we get a killer deal on powder.
Will they sell it like that? Did we just drop the TR bailed from his own chat?
There he is.
Oh,
Okay, TR's back. Be quiet.
Can you hear me now?
We got special guest TR. Special guest TR tonight.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
What the hell happened?
I unplugged my mic and plugged it back in, trying to figure out where that noise was coming from, and I guess it killed my fucking mic.
yeah. Hey, just an FYI for all you people out there, this is not a German like that eagle. I had somebody ask if I was a Nazi for wearing this hat, and if anybody, yeah, I mean, that's the Raven from Gunsight. And a lot of people don't know what that is, but if you're into guns and stuff, you probably know Jeff Cooper and those people. This was.
I know you got a nicer hat than that.
It's in the trunk of my car.
That's a good spot for it.
Well, it's there because I wear it to promote your channel when I go to the range. That way, I've got an assortment of hats. You know.
I know, you're awesome.
Yeah. Well, I try, dude. I like to make sure everybody gets honorable mention every time I go out there to do something. At least somebody. It's always cool, man.
Hey, just so you guys know, Coda Boy's getting some business cards. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that's so I can get a bunch of free shit like Big Johnson gets.
I know one other guy that has business cards that handed it out in Farmageddon.
Oh, yeah, yeah. My buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor dude.
No choice.
All right, what time is it?
Test. I swear that's got to be me.
It's something to do with when you're talking and somebody else is still kind of highlighted or something. I don't know. It don't matter. Whatever. It's not that bad.
Mm.
Pop's Quest has been on here the whole time. He could have hung out with us. Could have been on the chat.
I'm doing pretty good. I only had 4 hours sleep. Had to be at work at 6 o'clock this morning. So
That's
my
I was up at,
worthless fucking third shift guy didn't show up last night, so I had to go in early and try to mop up what might have been going on before the shift started. So, as a friend of mine said, the curse of the capable. If you can do it, I don't know if I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. If you're like the go-to guy, go-to gal to get shit done, they lay more and more work on you to take up the slack of the other fuckers that ain't doing their fucking job. Then it's expected of you. Maybe you hadn't. I don't know.
yeah, I ended up, somebody found out I could weld, and I looked at him and I said, come here, I need you to weld this. I'm not welding shit. I don't do that. Oh, all right. Well, guys, I hate to do this, but it's I'm like TR. I've been running since about 5 a.m. this morning, and I got to do it again tomorrow. And I just got off 8-hour drive up the road. But if you don't mind, I'm going to sign off here. I just want to say thank you, TR, for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure. Rosie, thank you for your knowledge. Rick, get a haircut. Pops, SoCal, Wicked, Bad Billy, Mel, Big Johnson. You guys, thank you very much for joining and supporting the man, TRprepper. Y'all be good.
I appreciate you being on here, man.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.
Yeah, I'm going to get going too, TR. Thank you, everybody. I got a few things to do for tomorrow, extra stuff.
All right. That's fine. I appreciate you coming on here, Rosie. I know you wasn't sure if he's going to be on here at all anyway, so thank you for your time. I appreciate it, as always.
Night, Rosie.
Thank you. Froze up. I think she's already off.
Oh.
All right. Well,
that's cool.
Hell, Rick.
Got to talk a little bit about reloading. Got to talk about
Yeah, we got a few minutes. We'll go a few minutes more.
I don't think it was me cricketing because I've been muted.
Nah, it wasn't necessarily you. I think it was a combination of a couple of different. Because like if everybody wasn't talking and it was just you, I didn't hear it. I don't know. It was a combination. I don't know. Who knows? It don't matter.
So you've been to Tennessee lately?
Yeah, I was there this past weekend.
Didn't even stop by, huh?
No. Hell, I don't need to go to Tennessee to stop by your house, dude. You're only like fucking 20 minutes up the road.
I know. You said something on, I don't know, it's Facebook or something. I'm like, asshole didn't even stop by or whatever I put on there.
Okay, you're back home.
It's
where are
dead
you going
now.
to be in 2 weeks?
I don't know. I leave the 16th.
Okay.
Go back to work.
Yeah. All right. Yeah,
I'm
my
actually
schedule's
going on a
fucked
trip.
up too.
I'm going to go on a trip and check stuff out. We're going on a cruise.
Okay.
That's in a few weeks. That should be fun. Oh, Big Johnson.
I got a lot of shit
Big
going on at work. I don't know what my schedule's going to be like for the next month or two.
We need to meet up with Rob and do some, go shoot one of those USPSA matches.
Yeah, we can do that.
That'd be fun. He's been wanting to. I've been dragging him or trying to get him to do a 3-gun with me. And it's been a while since I've shot 3-gun, which sucks because I want to shoot. Yeah, the ship will definitely need a Glock. Boat anchor. I love Big Johnson. Who's hockey? Who's playing hockey?
The Predators, or the Nashville Predators, are in the Stanley Cup.
Nice. Keep it rolling for another 37. I want my money's worth. You know what, TR? You need to put one of those super chat things on. Why the hell not?
That would make me a whore.
Fuck
right
it.
now, I'm just a slut.
You might as well be a chat horse slut.
Yeah, hell, I'd give away.
I give you $1.
I'll do it for free.
Yeah.
If I had an option for people to pay for it, they might expect a better show.
You don't charge them for it. They just like,
yeah, you don't charge them, but they can pay. They might expect a better show though if they paid for it.
Well, I don't think any of the guys on the external should pay. Like someone new that comes in, don't know shit, he just accidentally hits the button, throws $1 million down. That'd be awesome. You have to give me like 1% at least. Just because, I got Bob here. This guy, he's a talking son of a bitch when no one's around.
I'd rather do it for free. I mean, like I said, like you said, you don't have to pay to see it, but
I'm just fucking with you.
People started fucking giving money, then I would expect to put on a better show. It's just,
you should expect to put on a better show. You should have what you're going to talk about, so we're all. We go and research a week ahead of time.
That's how I started the chat.
The Snapperhead Mafia Dysfunctional Show.
Yeah.
You talk about him, right, Billy?
It was fucking structured, and it just wasn't as fun. I'd rather just fucking subjects. We talk about whatever it is. I'd rather people in the external bring up topics and maybe strike a chord and say, hey, yeah, that's a good topic. Let's talk about that. I'd rather do that. It just seems to be more fun doing that. It seems to be more fluid, more natural. When you try to do a structured chat and say, okay, we're going to talk about this and this and this and this and this, it just don't work. It don't work for me. I've been doing chats for fucking years now. Like Rosie said, hell, coming up on 2 years on my chat, and I was doing them 2 years before that, or 3 years or 4 years.
True. No, you definitely have a good showing. I remember the one day we had it was over 100 people watching at the same time. It was really cool. Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
Usually have better turnout in the wintertime.
Yeah, when everybody's stuck in their house.
Yeah, everybody's stuck in the house.
The snow.
So right now, for us to be in the 50s as far as concurrent viewers, that's pretty good. I mean, this vacation time, kids are out of school.
Yeah.
And for us to have in the 50s, that's actually really good. And as soon as the chat ends, you'll actually see where there was like 200 and something people in here. I guarantee you, I'd bet money on it. There was 200 and I'm just going to take a guess. I ain't got no fucking clue, but just based on past performance, from 230 to 250 people have come in and out of this chat so far.
I tell you, I bet you have a good following. You got all the same guys showing up every week, plus all the people that are like, what's going on in that channel? And bam, check it out for a little while. Maybe they're snowflakes and they get their butt hurt and then they leave. But you're definitely getting probably these 51 people that are watching right now are your normal everyday subs that come back religiously to watch our bullshit, which is awesome.
And I don't do it for me. I do it for them. I do it because I know I've got some personal friends, like Tool Monkey. Sometimes you'll see him out there. He's a guy I work with. And he's like, man, they're talking about shit that ain't got a damn thing to do with what you guys are talking about. They got their own conversation going over here on the side chat. He said, I can't even keep up with it. And I said, well, that's the beauty of it. It's a gathering of people. the side chat don't even have to fucking talk about what we're talking about. It's a whole, you know, a big mix of just all kind of shit going on.
Well, what's cool is it's like I was telling my wife the other day, I'm like, I don't go to the bar to drink and hang out. You know, I enjoy hanging out with all these guys because a lot of them I met in person. You know, I've had great conversations with them on email or whatever the case is, kind of know them per se because it's been so long. And they're all basically like, you know, brothers and sisters and family basically. So it's really cool, even though we're sitting here talking, you know, some of these guys, like a good example is Twisted Metals of Texas. He sent me an email. I haven't even checked it, but you know, there's great communication of people going back and forth, good content. I mean, I've never met Big Johnson Guns and Gear. He's seen enough of my videos where he felt like, hey, I'll send a CZ to Rick to play with and try out, and then he knows I'll return it, you know, like kind of deal. Like there's great content, and people, you can't pretend to be somebody when you have a channel that's been around a long time. You're going to somehow show that, you know what I mean? So it's kind of cool because you're not really meeting the person, but you kind of understand their ethics and their morals, and you can kind of figure out who they are per se without really meeting them. And my wife trips out on that all the time. Like, she's like, who are you talking to? I'll be like, yeah, John, you know, blah, blah, blah. She's like, but it's just weird because you really do know these people without, well, some of them I met, but you know, some of them you haven't met. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I think especially with YouTube channels, it's a lot different than Facebook. I mean, you have people comment on your stuff and post stuff. You might be like-minded, but it's different than YouTube. If somebody's making videos, I think their personality eventually comes out. You could get a feel for who they are. No matter how hard they're trying, unless they're just a really good actor, if somebody's doing YouTube videos, you're going to get a feel for who they are, even if they are trying to put up a front, and not in a bad way. I'm just saying they're trying to be professional, blah, blah, blah. You know, they're serious about it. You're going to understand their personality. You know, you're going to catch on who they are, I think, anyway.
Yeah, you know what's funny is Deb, so afterwards she has a chat usually, and probably have one tonight, so you guys go check that out. But I was at work, so I was like, you know, it was early, it was like 9 o'clock or whatever. So I'm like, oh, I'll go say hi to Deb and the crew. Saint was on there and a few others. I think Greg Campbell. And she's like, you know, you need to be relaxed, and she's basically giving me like, you know, like things like, man, you know, it was nice seeing you smile. She's saying your videos are basically, and I don't know if it's from being a boss for so long or very like structured, not so much structured, but like, you know, to the point, you know, on some of the videos where I'm like trying to teach somebody something, like a training video. She's like, it was nice to see you on the chat, just smiling, having fun kind of deal. So that's cool. I'm like, I'll work on that. It's just as soon as I start talking, that's kind of how I am and who I am. So it's more of a, depending on what it is, it can be more of a class than anything. So I was cracking up.
Yeah, I don't have that problem. I'm just a goofball when I turn the camera on. So,
well, you're fun. You're fun.
Change it now.
Dude that everybody loves, which is cool. Bad Billy 429. Tell your pops I said hi. His dad was cool, man. I loved him. He's a cool dude.
Yeah. He sent me some 45 long Colts, actually.
Yeah, I saw those. I saw that video.
That's right. I did a video on it, yeah.
I've called him a few times since the farm. Just asking him some questions on some deals and scores and stuff. Awesome channel, man. It's amazing.
YouTube to actually end up being a social network blows my mind on how much it is a actual social network. Not everything on YouTube, but the communities within YouTube being actually a social network. I would have never dreamed of it. Even when I started YouTube, I would have never thought that I would actually meet people from YouTube, make friends from YouTube, you know, communicate, even if it is just through comments and stuff like that. I would have never, ever dreamed of it being such a huge deal, or at least in my life.
Yeah, for sure. It's amazing. You know, you were the first YouTuber I ever met. When I moved, I don't know, most of you guys probably know, but I lived in California, was moving to North Carolina, and TR and I met up one night, had some cocktails at a Mexican restaurant, and it was cool to meet. It was kind of weird, and in the beginning, like, you know, not so much when we meet, but like, I'm gonna go meet somebody I've never met before. You know what I mean? And we talked on chats before and stuff, but it's funny. But 99.9% of the community, at least the guys you see talking out here, and the guys in the channel, you know, internal or on the panel, you know, I've met, and great people, you know, normal people, because there's a few that aren't normal, but definitely they're great people, and that's what makes the community so awesome. Is we have common goals, right? You know, maybe it's prepping, firearms, whatever the case is, all kind of wraps into one, and which is good. So if something does happen and all the survivors live, at least they'll be normal people for the most part, that have a little bit of you know, a moral standard, so we're not sitting there trying to kill each other over nothing.
Yeah. It's been pretty cool. I don't know. I hope everybody ends up having a good experience with YouTube. If you got a channel or just started a channel, I hope it grows and you end up having, because what'll happen is you'll have different little cliques, but you'll still be within the community. And that's just something, I mean, I guess that's just natural. I don't know. Like me and Rob hit it off. Me and Rick hit it off, you know, and some other guys. And we just became friends, you know, actual true friends. And like I said, this is what blows my fucking mind. Because everybody's like Facebook, but it's like, you know what? The community that I've built, or not built, but got involved with on YouTube, blows Facebook out of the fucking water. I mean, if it wasn't for trying to stay in touch with high school friends and family and shit like that, I would just fucking delete my Facebook account because it's fucking worthless. Other than seeing a funny video here and there. And I get a little bit of news from Facebook, actually, because I got a lot of political friends on Facebook. Back in Ron Paul days, somehow through however it worked, I got a lot of political friends across the globe on my Facebook account, mainly America, of course, but there's some foreigners there too. And it was for the, you know, freedom movement, Constitution, blah, 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 different things. Now, a few of them turned out to be batshit crazy and I had to fucking get rid of them. But anyway.
Yeah, I got one complaint. Here's the complaint, and I hope it ain't one of you son of bitches out in the external. See this right here? It says Pure Leaf Sweet Tea, right? One of you guys purposely put this stupid shit in here. See that right there? It says unsweetened. One of you guys bamboozled me. I'm drinking a non-sweet black tea that tastes like horse shit. I would assume, because I've never had horse shit. But don't be that guy. That's my PSA.
Let me go get a prop. I got to show you something that, because of Facebook, made me buy this. Because I thought it was cool as shit. And I wanted to support them because they support veterans. Give me 10 seconds. I'll be right back.
Check it out. Let's check it out. You guys are awesome. Zeus. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start at the top. As far as it'll let me go here. And give all you guys a shout out because you're all badass. WTF SoCal. J. Greg Campbell, Mel Fogg, Southern Style 357, Prepping to Endure, Deb the RN, Pops Quest, NJ Buick GS, so New Jersey Buick GS, Daniel God is my judge, Bizza Rizza Jizza, Bad Billy 429, Hidden Numismastis. That one always gets me, I'm sorry. Tony Cantrell, Big Johnson's Guns and Gear, WTF SoCal, already said, Rosie O'Kelly. You back yet? We got the Saint, Coda Boy 32. Is your 6 covered? That guy's an asshole. Frank L. Bizarrizza, Jizza, said that one. PG, I call him, but Partesian Gorilla. Pop's Place, Zeus. Daniel God is my judge. Linda Francine. The Scab Ugly Channel. Prepping to Endure. Did I get everybody? Keith Gregory. Damn, there's a lot. Which is good, I guess. The Saint. Talked to him already. Scotty M. 1959. And I hope I got everybody because I know TR is back. Frank L. said that one. So hopefully I said your name. All right, let me scroll all the way down again. All right, you're up.
All right. If you may be sub to them. I forget their actual channel name. They do really funny videos. It's a bunch of veterans, but Black Rifle Coffee Company. If you're on Facebook, you've probably seen them. And I just had to buy some of their coffee. For one thing, some of the proceeds, a percentage goes to veterans. I know when they first started doing their video, one of the guys doing the videos with them, you know, he lost a leg in somewhere in the Middle East, I don't know where, and ended up dying and blah blah blah. But they do really really funny videos, and you see them on Facebook all the time. But anyway, I went ahead and bought some of their coffee just to try it. Plus, it proceeds go to, or some of it at least, to veterans. But I bought their CAF coffee, caffeinated as fuck. I had to buy it just for that.
That's fucking awesome.
You know, proceeds, some of the money goes to veterans. They grind it up custom for you. You know, it's like you order it, then they roast it, then they grind it, and then within 4 days it's at your house. So it's like really fresh coffee. I mean, it's expensive. It's like $17 shipped, you know, for a pound. But I just had to. I was just like, these guys are cool as shit. I had to do it.
Is it beans or is it ground up?
No, it's ground up. It's ground up.
Nice.
I think you can get beans. They had different options, but I went with a CAF, caffeinated as fuck.
You know what's funny? Probably everybody doesn't know, but I probably had 3 cups of coffee my entire life.
But you've had enough tea to float a battleship.
Oh, fuck yeah. For sure. Maybe 3 battleships. You know, it's funny. I remember Bad Billy drinking this shit too. He said it was him, the unsweetened. Remember when I ran out at the end of the last day, and I'm like, fuck. And then I'm like, Billy's all, I got tea. And I was like, I went to reach in there, and I'm like, oh, got no sugar. Sucks. For sure.
Yeah, that was expensive. It was just kind of a little, hell, I had a word in my mind, just for the hell of it. I ain't saying I couldn't go and order this shit every week or whatever. I'm not even a big coffee drinker. some mornings I might just I can buy raw milk where I'm at. Some mornings I just drink a glass of milk before I go to work. But if I get up early enough, I'll fix a cup of coffee.
Some chicken milk, right? From those big old chicken breasts?
No, chickens don't have tits, so you can't milk a chicken.
Thanks, TR. I've been wondering that the whole time. I know I caught somebody out there that was like, "What? Chicken's milk? You can milk a chicken?" Man, we used to have my kids were in 4-H, so every year I'd have like 9 turkeys, along with chickens, Rhode Island Reds. I love Rhode Island Reds, but no damn roosters. I milk my chicken at the fire station. I love comments. You guys are awesome out there, for sure. And the reason why,
go ahead,
is because these guys comment a lot. But what's more important is, and not because I'm sitting here talking to them as well, but there's a lot of chats out there, and they don't give 2 shits about the people trying to ask them a question or commenting. And that pisses me off, because if they're going to hang out, they're part of the panel, but their faces aren't seen, but they're being heard. They're being seen. They're part of the group, and I'll go to other channels or other chats, and I'll ask a serious question like, can you tell me more or whatever? I'm just coming up with shit. They won't acknowledge you for shit, and they're not huge channels. And it's just like, you fucking assholes. It's like, what's the point of communicating? Then, you know what I mean? It's like, you're not part of the group over there on some of the chats. So it's bullshit. So I think your channel that you have, you show a lot of love to the guys out in the external, which makes it cool, makes it fun for them to show up as well. They get to BS and bullshit and have a good time like the rest of us.
Yeah, from the get-go and from the early chats that I was in before I started my own chats, we tried to, interact with, because if I ignore people watching this, why in the hell would you watch it? And if the people are not out there watching it, why in the hell would I even do a chat? So it's a 2-way street. I appreciate you being out there, so I'm going to engage in it. And I get it. I mean, that's just how it's, to me, it's just being courteous. You're out there watching the chat, you're chatting, you're talking to each other, you're talking to us. I respond to it, and that's why I like having 5 or 6 people on the panel. That way I can interact, without stopping the chat from going on. Like right now it's just me and you. It's hard to type out there. But when I got a few people, I always try to, anytime I see a new name pop up, I always try to tell them hello, let them know I'm watching. That's why my eyes are always over here to the right. I'm watching
exactly.
the chat constantly.
Well, here's a cool one. Evan Fields. I don't know if you're familiar with him. I was doing a Into the Fire video, and he may be a sub for you, and he came my way or whatever the case is. But he's running for mayor of Indianapolis, which is really cool. We were talking. He was prior to whatever he's doing now, or maybe even now, but he was a firefighter and an EMS guy. So we were talking. I had a video or a chat basically about EMS stuff, about responding to crime scenes and responding to patients that are armed, and that's where I met him at, and seems like a pretty cool dude. But yeah, it's just all this cool stuff we learn about each other,
Yeah, like I say, it goes full circle back to what we was talking about earlier, how YouTube is a amazing social network that still blows my mind how much interaction there is. Well, thank you, Zeus. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, and that's the thing too, is like probably everybody's first video, they're not even showing their face because you're like scared. So you're like, here's my phone. You know, and then after a while you're like, fuck it, I can't do this video without showing my face. It's just not gonna work.
I forget when I started my first YouTube channel. I think it was 2010, that Fun Fisher channel. I wasn't afraid to show my face because I didn't know anybody would be able to see it other than people that I shared it to on Facebook. That's the only reason I did the YouTube video, is because it was easier to do a YouTube video and upload it than it was to upload a Facebook video. So I started doing these prepping videos. For anybody that hadn't heard, I know I've told this before. And then I would check back with my channel and I'm like, 50 people watched this video. And then all of a sudden people were commenting. And then all of a sudden I was getting notifications. I got, 10 subs. What's a sub? What's a subscription? How are these people finding my fucking videos?
And that's probably with no tags because you didn't know what the hell you're doing. No, you know what's crazy is YouTube is a huge learning curve, and just when you think not so much that you figured it out, because I don't think that's even possible, but then they go and fucking change it on you anyway. So it's like, dang it, I just figured it out to a point, and then they go and change something. Especially the chats. You've seen how much they screw with the chats. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Greg Campbell, he says, and a lot of you guys out there probably carry a firearm, while you're around or whatever the case is. And it says, that is one of my concerns. Me, Rick, I have a CCW and carry every day. If I'm injured and unconscious, what am I going to wake up to being strapped to the bed and a cop looking over at me? And if you're a permitted or a legal concealed carrier, it's not going to be a big deal. It's more of the EMS, and depending on the left coast and the right coast, what kind of the video that I did was basically, what are you going to do if you have an unconscious patient with no family, no history, and the person has a firearm. So that's another topic, but basically you should be fine. I mean, it's not a big deal. You're legal to carry, then you're legal to carry.
Yeah.
It's more of the EMS going, what am I going to do with this firearm? Because I don't really have somewhere to lock this up till I can get the police there to secure the firearm.
Last time I heard, in South Carolina has about 5 million people in it, and that's counting every woman, child, everything, every person. I think around 5 million people in it, or somewhere around that. And there's around 330 to 350,000 people with concealed weapon permits, which is kind of a small percentage, but at the same time is kind of a high percentage when you discount children and all that. So, there's a good, I don't know what the percentage of adults, to me, that comes out to be about 1 in 10, somewhere in that area, probably have a gun on.
Yeah. And that's more prevalent out in the America as an example. In California, there is a lot of people that are issued a permit, but nothing compared to like out here. And when EMS arrives and responds to an incident like that, there's probably a good chance that the people responding aren't familiar with firearms, don't have a great knowledge of the weapon, may not feel confident enough to clear it and make it safe. And then what are you going to do and lock it up until you can get law enforcement there to basically secure the firearm? Because once there's a firearm on the unit, in my jurisdiction, we're basically out of service till till we can get rid of the thing to law enforcement. So it can screw up, EMS as a whole, because now you have one additional, piece of equipment that's out of service. And we're not checking the people like we should. A cop mentality or a police officer has the mentality of making sure that the person doesn't have any weapon on them or whatever the case is. And that's their normal routine, where, we're going into the old house and we're talking to old lady Miss Smith, and, we're not so much worried, but old lady Miss Smith may have a freaking, pistol on her. And if she becomes unconscious and we don't know about it, we throw her on the gurney, we bring her to the hospital, and then all of a sudden she wakes up, or even worse, like a head injury, where, people with head injuries, they don't think clearly because their head's injured. So sometimes they'll be very aggressive. They'll want to fight with you, even though that's not their normal state of mind. They're not even like that normally. With a head injury like that, they may do stupid shit that they normally wouldn't do. Maybe they'll pull the firearm out and try to, injure somebody. So,
yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's a concern, but like you said, it probably depends on your geography, where you're at. Where it's a big deal or it's not a big deal. And even in, say, Greenville, it would probably depend on what part of Greenville you're in. I live in Greenville County. If you're in the west side of Greenville and a suspect or a injured person has a gun on them, it might be a whole different thing than if they're in Travelers Rest. So, it's like anything else. Circumstances dictate how you react to things.
Yeah, for sure. And, I kind of shied away from it for a little bit because I kind of pride myself on being not so much a gun channel or a prepper channel, but I have the love and energy of wanting to teach people fire stuff and EMS stuff. Like, my biggest thing is I have that one series, I call it Into the Fire, where people can go if they want to become a firefighter. And not a lot of people watch it, but there's people that do watch it. And there's a lot of great information in there because, I got almost 30 years in the fire service. So it's like all the shit that I learned, like, give that information to someone else, and then they'll know it before they have 30 years in, which will save them a lot of headache and turmoil and everything else. But that's what that series is for. It sucks because it doesn't do anything for the gun or the prepper kind of stuff. But I'm like, I don't want to do a different channel and then, and make it like a fire channel, because you either like me for who I am and you can deal with, if you're the guy that's a firefighter and all of a sudden you get some gun videos, well, tough shit. You should be a gun-loving American just as well. But on the other end, the gun guys, they see a fire video, well, just click exit and move on to the next one, So
at our level, we're not going to make a living off fucking YouTube. So I say do whatever the hell you want.
Oh, and I do. I'm just like, fuck it, I mean, if I was just a firefighting channel and I did just firefighting stuff, I'd probably have a pretty decent channel. But that's not my 30 years of doing the same shit. I don't have the love that I had 29 years ago. So it's like, I was hardcore, crazy. Now I'm almost in the 30th year, and I'm like, I got 1 year left. Like, when's the time going to hit,
Yeah.
So, but it's like,
well, like I said, at our level, I mean, if you got 10 subs to 10,000 subs, you're not making a living off YouTube. And if you're not doing it because you enjoy it, you need to quit, because the payoff sucks. I can make more money picking up beer cans on the side of the road than I do YouTube. So the only reason I do YouTube is because I enjoy doing it, period. I love the interaction. I actually, it kind of opened me up and be a little bit more open and run my mouth and, be more of a people person, maybe. Because actually, believe it or not, I'm a kind of a shy person and have been in my life. I usually stay to myself. So YouTube kind of opened me up to be more open. And anyway, I do this because I enjoy it. Like I said, I just enjoy the interaction. I enjoy being goofy. I enjoy going out there and my fucking rooster crowing and laughing at the rooster, laughing at myself, and just fucking making a video, throw it up there. I don't give a damn how shitty it is. People respond to it. People like it, and I appreciate it. And that's all there is to it.
No, I agree. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It is. It's, and it's like I want to retire one day and do something and go work somewhere else and have some fun. But it's like, it would be nice to like, have, you got to do something. And I kind of always said this in the beginning was you have to go find a job you love. Like you'll see videos like the ones where I don't know if you call it serious or like down to earth ones where I'm walking around the field and I'm like telling people, go find a job you really enjoy because you're fucking going to be doing it for 30 years. So if you're at a job or a career that you just fucking just can't even stand till the clock hits so you can get the hell out of it, that's not the one you want to just start. You know what I mean? It's like you got 30 years of doing it. So do something that puts a smile on your face. Don't make $1 million because money's not going to make you happy, but showing up to work every day, maybe helping somebody out or whatever your job entails, make sure that you got a smile.
Speak for yourself. $1 million would make me happy.
It won't make you happy.
It will make me happier. It
will make you happy for a little bit.
Yeah, I couldn't even retire on $1 million if you fucking do the math on that.
No, and years ago you could. If you had $1 million, they always said if you win $1 million, you just put it in the bank and live off the interest. Well, nowadays you need probably $3 million in there.
Well, they pay like 0.5%. You'd make like $5,000 a year off of it.
Exactly. Banks suck. You can't make shit off of a bank. It's all about YouTube. You want to be a millionaire, you build a channel, you get 100 subs, then you get $1 million.
Yeah, there you go. Do a stupid fucking video, take a tennis ball and throw it up against the wall and do that for 24 hours and you'll get like 500,000 views. Just do stupid shit like that. If you want to make money on YouTube, that's the kind of shit you got to do. If you actually talk about content, you'll never go anywhere.
Exactly. Midas finally showed up 6 hours later. But yeah, someone was talking about retiring and doing something in the gun industry. I would love to do something in the gun industry. Say you worked at a company and maybe you just design something new gadgets that go in the gun or whatever, and you get to test stuff out or whatever. Now, I wouldn't want to shoot. Like, think of the guys that work at like Defender Ammo or any of those ammo places where you're just trying ammo and all you do is shoot. All right, even if you shot 8 hours a day, that would be work. It would fucking suck. Like, look at TR when he shoots a 50-round drum. His fingers hurt. He's all crying. My finger cramping up. Blah blah blah. Right. So 8 hours of that shit you don't want to do, but you might want to try out firearms. So maybe you're like it'd be awesome. Even Smith and Wesson, right? Not my favorite, but be the guy that tries all the shit out or whatever. Like, I would love that shit. That'd be awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, I know exactly what you're saying. All right. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. We've been a good 2 hours. I like to always keep them right at 2 hours. So it's just me and you anyway. So, and we're just rambling on about how YouTube don't pay us any fucking money. Not that I ever got into it for the money.
That's why I'm selling shirts, TR.
I know. I got to get one.
You should get one. There's some badass ones.
I gotta get one and promote my other brothers out there.
You got to get two, actually. You got to get one of the Team Is Your Six covered ones. And then you got to get the TRprepper CZ shirt that is on the store right now. You can check out.
All right. I have to do that. All right. We're going to wrap it up. You want to say anything in the ending, Rick?
Sure, why not? I've been talking. I got booze talk mouth going. If you're not a subscriber, go check out my channel. Don't subscribe just because you saw this. Go check out the videos. If you enjoy the videos, you like that kind of stuff, then subscribe. Other than that, you know, I appreciate you guys showing up as always, supporting TR and myself, I guess. Basically, you guys are awesome. So you guys take care, stay safe, and CZ Mafia for never. I mean, life.
We'll convert you one day. If not, oh well. We'll still let you be in the damn friends club.
I would love to have one. I just I spent all my money on the Infinity.
Yeah, I can understand that. That son of a bitch is awful shiny. Anyway. All right, we're going to end this, and thanks everybody for coming by. And we'll talk to you next week, if not Sunday. And later, everybody. Thanks.